The Ravens took J.K. Dobbins, the running back, in the second round. So as a fantasy owner, I'm freaking out about this backfield now. We have Ingram coming off 10 touchdowns. What is this going to look like? It's always going to be a heavy run game. Eric DeCosta is saying that Dobbins fell out of the sky to them. Big meal or no big deal, Schrags. You know this team in and out. The Ravens are adding more firepower to their backfield.
Big meal, big meal, big meal, because the rich got richer. This is the #1 rushing team in all of football, and they added a guy who had more rushing yards in college football at Ohio State than Eddie George and Archie Griffin. Oh, and Ezekiel Elliott as well. And J.K. Dobbins, what he does is out of the shotgun, which makes him so dangerous, because what do the Ravens do so much? Put Lamar in that shotgun and then let him go. And then now we have another option to go with it. I love when they have 3 tight ends out there. They put their fullback Ricard out there, and they usually have Ingram or Edwards or someone else. Now you've got J.K. Dobbins, who is a horse back there. I'm telling you, this is one of those picks. And I had a list before we went into the draft of top 5 guys that might get taken in the first round that you're not hearing about. J.K. Dobbins was on the list because a lot of teams had him on the first round grade. For the Ravens to get Patrick Queen and J.K. Dobbins, watch out. I love this pick, and I think he fits them perfectly.
Yeah, no, I love this, man. I love this 100%. When it comes to what we saw last year out of this offense, it was like a 5-course meal, right? We were excited about every single dish from the start all the way down to the dessert. And then once we got to the playoffs, because they were so banged up and they didn't have the depth, we couldn't get what we were used to. It's like we were at the restaurant and like, hey, waiter, can I get that Mark Ingram, you know, the dominant Mark Ingram? And he's like, hey, do we have the Mark Ingram available? You know, I'm sorry, we don't have Mark Ingram. We can give you a replacement. So they didn't have the depth, and now they have individuals that can step up when the big dogs go down.
That's it, Nate. And you know what? Speaking of firepower, we've had a little fun with my ironic floating DVD logo, but it's Friday. We like to get a little nuts. I think I'm going to just add a little fire to the show and light a torch for us here, guys. That fire was absolutely lit by Nate's Andy Dalton carrot cake take. This is obviously a really big deal for Baltimore. I'll tell you why. The loss to the Titans, everybody got so titillated about what Derrick Henry was doing and everything. That loss happened because the Ravens can convert some 4th and shorts. They kept getting stuffed. Mark Ingram in that game only had 6 carries. Gus the Bus had 3. You bring that sand to the beach. You light that fire. This is my pizza oven. I'm trying to tell you, Kay, I've been making my own pizzas. Now you guys see how. I'm like Gwyneth in my herb garden.